presentation. Thank you very much. And
Yes.
we'll be speaking the same for the next presenters. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to mute myself now. And whenever you're ready to begin, go ahead.
Ay. Well, we are going to start, and Diana and I decided to talk about personal experiences that we have been through and that we could relate to cultural dimensions. The two of us are going to talk about work experiences we have lived. They are in different companies who also have different approaches, because where was Diana was a company where they work with suppliers of pet items, and my experience is in a job where I am as an assistant and support of therapists that work with special children. First, I'm going to talk about my experience. Then I'm going to start with Dimension 5 because I think it's better to understand and like that. And then I'm going to relate my experience with Dimension 2. And then Diana is going to talk about the her experience. And well, 2 months ago, I started working in a consulting firm where children with certain difficulties or with different abilities are cared for. And it's actually 3 offices, but we are working to expand them and have many more. And the boss also want to make franchises. I don't know if it's said like that, franquicias. And a year ago, it was just an office with a therapist who is the head of this new company that is start to building. And well, she has the one who made the diagnosis to the children, and then she herself made the follow up and gave them the therapies. They were therapies for children with difficulties in their language, for children with autism, with dyslexia, and difficulties to read and to write. And the staff was just her and her receptionist, who is also her accountant. So I related with the Dimension 5 because I can relate more with the long term part. Diana is going to talk more about short part, and you know the dimensions, so I put the characteristics I can relate with my experience, and I'm going to continue relating my experience. And now, for a little more than a year, I think there are 2 other offices and 6 more people in the work team. If I count the people of publicity and business consultant, who is the person who has advised the boss to gradually grow the office, I think that totally will be like 10 or 12 people in this project. Among the first 6 people I was telling them, one of them is now a receptionist along with the one that was before, but the first one now takes one much more of the administrative and financial part. The other 4 people are 2 therapists. Now they are the ones who give the therapies to the children in the 2 new offices that they opened. And in the previous office where the boss gave the therapies, now she is the only that make the diagnosis in the afternoon, and in the morning another new therapist use that room to give motor therapy and simulation more than anything. And this office is now a sensory room that is very functional for children with different abilities. And finally, the other two people are two psychologists. In this type of therapy, often have to address the emotional and behavioral part of the children, and so when they need it, they can go with the area of psychology. And this is where I came in to work in this part. There is another psychology and I also can relate it with dimension 2, culture with uncertainty avoidance, because many times there are unexpected cases and situations that get out of control and have to be solved. For my experience there and what I have seen, I consider that all the staff is very qualified for what is presented in diagnostics or in therapists, because in this way, although not everything can be prepared or in control, I see that they are very qualified, so they they have lower stress and self-control. And also I can see very that the team can support each other in many occasions. They can contain because the staff is prepared for this. And for example, something that happens is that when there are diagnoses, to perform them you need the to have the parents and the child, and the parents are interviewed to know the reasons for the consultation and their medical history, and while in the same office the child is playing. Then the parents come out and the therapy do a test to the child as the part of the diagnosis. There are children who are calm and easily stay for the test when the parents leave, but most of the children are very restless, and then you cannot make the diagnosis very well because the parents are looking for the child. And then when the parents leave, the children cry a lot and we cannot do the test, and it's very difficult. So you never know why they go to the diagnosis, and it's better to have uh, another therapist to to be with the kid and to look for for him or for her. And well, when this happens, there is always someone free to from the staff who can enter to the diagnosis to care for the child and play with him or with her, even sometimes also exploring what difficulty or what need the child has. And this is also the role that have the other therapist. This makes easier to make the diagnosis and for someone else to look after the child. And when parents leave and the child cries, between two therapists can call him or her and perform tests together, and it is better the result of the test.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about my experience. The example I will share is about the company where I did my professional practices or my internship, because it's a very fresh example. And with what I have experienced and what I have learned in class, I now can name this phenomenon. So I started working at a company named Animarama that functioned, as Majo said before, it functions as a directory of services for domestic and exotic pets. So the turn of the company made it a little more relaxed environment. So next one, please. Okay, so the first dimension I'm going to talk about, which I'm going to relate, is the low and small power distance that the company managed. Because even though I was a practitioner at the beginning, the owner or the director of the company used to communicate with me directly to see what my functions or my duties will be. And I was at the HR department, a human resources department, and maybe the department is more close to the level or the the boss director level. But my sister that used to work there too, that she was in the department of designing, she was a practitioner too. The boss or the director used to communicate directly with her and do the same things with every worker. So he also hold meetings with all the workers or the employees to make announcements, give notices about anything. But why I have name now is that he used to manage this close communication with his employees. So those kind of things that in other companies, I think those notices or announcements will be given like by a manager or or an HR staff. I don't know. But the boss always preferred to have this close communication with every worker in his company. And well, my sister and I prepare, and yeah, I think many of the employees, no, employees, sorry, refer to him as the leader, not like the boss, because he was like in this, like, call me by my name, tell me what are your needs, tell me what do you, um, I don't know, want to change, what can I improve? So yeah, he always maintained this close communication and showing openness and trust in the employee-employer relationship. So it was a very value thing that the company has. Next one, please. Okay, and now the other dimension I perceived was the uncertainty avoidance. I am very surprised by the level of uncertainty avoidance handled by the company's work team, since, well, my sister that she had to leave this experience, told me about that there were a lot of new projects because it was a new company. So they had we all have new projects. And in one which they had no experience because they had to stream an event of the Vets Awards, veterinary awards. So they have to stream the event, and my sister shared with me that behind the scenes there was a lot of pressure. And finally, when the event was over, the work team reinforced their effort and their success, and obviously they gave like each other a very positive comments. So they know how to handle the uncertainty of a new project, or I don't know if they were expecting, like, they were not expecting to fail, but they were like very alert to how the event is going to, were going to be, was going to be. And also months before, sorry, the company closed operations, I think in October. And my sister, she stayed there to work there because she liked it. And she told me that the boss was very, very clear at the beginning, like in a few months ago, like in August or September. He was very clear with all the workers about the situation of the company. He was very honest with them that they were going through a bad time. And however, he always encouraged his collaborators to put their maximum effort to get ahead. And he also gave them confidence because they had previously gone through a bad time, a time ago. So, well, they were able to get out successfully. So all the workers or collaborators were like, okay, we're going to through this bad time, but we're going to get out successfully again, no? So from that notice until the end, no decrease in productivity was perceived, having like an adequate reaction to uncertainty. So they even more work better or have this motivation to keep doing their work. So yeah, that's why this company characterized by having this uncertainty avoidance. Next one, please. Okay, and now that we want to talk about this study that we found, in which we wanted to explain to you why Mexico is characterized by this dimension of uncertainty avoidance. So we found this documentary research from Francisca Tengler and Diana del Consuelo Caldera Gonzalez that they did a research about the cultural difference in Mexican and German companies analyzed using Hofstede's model. We're not going to focus on the German results, but we are going to talk about why Mexico obtained 82 points on this dimension. So, wait, I have to take a little. Okay, so what we found is that Mexico obtained 82 points in this dimension because, okay, these two women talk about countries that has high uncertainty avoidance, maintain rigid codes of beliefs and behavior, and are intolerant with, how do you say, unorthodox behavior and ideas. So Mexico is characterized by having this pragmatic or dogmatic quality, could be, because when we have gone through hard or difficult situations, natural phenomena like natural disasters, earthquakes, in many situations, Mexico is characterized by how do you say, apoyar,
Support.
yeah, like, no, like, apoyarse o refugiarse en la religión. Like, I don't know, like, when the worst thing is happening, we are going to say, God, please help me, or Virgencita de Guadalupe. We all tend to be very like believers, or we tend to refuge on the religion because, well, one point that these researchers found is that the dominance of the Catholic religion was associated with high uncertainty avoidance. So it's related. So then why Mexico could be in this dimension. And also, high uncertainty avoidance cultures value control of ambiguity and the existence of rules. So in these cultures, there is an emotional need to have rules, or yeah, to have rules, even though they seem not to work at all, but we need the rules to like feel secure too. So they found also that societies stemming from large centralized empires, like all the pre-Hispanic culture of Mexico, that has codified a general system of laws that provide and apply to all. These will tend to share cultures with a heavy emphasis on norms and rejection of the uncertain and the strange, all the strange, all the weird, all the unknowledge, or yeah, uncertain. So these cultures with strong uncertainty avoidance emphasize formal and social control, formal rules and social control. And we need like we have a strong need for prediction, and we often tend to be more anxious and be more expressive. Like, I don't know if you know a little more about the culture of Korea. I made a little research about how they are in their work, and they like they spend too much hours working, and they have a high percent of how do you say? Well, let's talk about the how can I translate the the name has gone. Is this thing, Majo, that we learn on relaciones, recursos humanos? The thing that you explode when you're working. The word has gone on my mind, but okay. Korea has this high level of pressure and in their work. So Mexico, we often tend to be more expressive and more anxious, like in our works, we're like, oh my God, and we tend to say a little cruise words or something like that. But yeah, this study was very interesting because they explained to us why Mexico has this rigid code of beliefs, how we prepare or we act, or how our behavior is going to be on in front of I don't know, uncertainty, or in front of a bad time, a bad moment, or I don't know, in many bad situations we can go through. So yeah, that's what this study tells us, and that's why Mexico is high has a high percent of uncertainty avoidance. Next.
I'm going to have to interrupt you because your 10-minute presentation has been 22-minute presentation. So could we please finish and be respectful to the rest of the teams? Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry, teacher. We are only references, and thank you for your attention. And that's all. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Everyone help me give Diana, please, and Maria Jose a hand Very good. Thank you. I learned many interesting things. You actually did mention many, many interesting things, and I really appreciate it. Before I start giving you feedback and going back to your presentation, I would like to know if anyone would like to ask a question, to add anything, to maybe mention something that may have caught your attention. Now you can turn on your cameras now, guys, because, and if you can start sharing. Thank you. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Can you make me again a presenter, Maria Jose? I don't know how you can give
Yes,
me back
I can.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Okay, guys. Thank you. I think you have to go to WebEx, detener uso. Yes. Stop sharing. And then you have to, I think, click where my picture is somewhere. So yes, I think so. We're getting there. Okay, guys. Anyone would like to mention anything? Feedback? Nothing? I can still share. Hold on. Let me see if I have the presentation now. Maria Jose, you still have the, I think you still have the presenter right.
Yes, I'm moving, but
Okay,
I don't know.
we can still see your,
Yes, I know. I don't know why it closed.
I
I
think
go
you,
to participants and I want to move the control, but I think no.
I
Yes,
think,
I think
there you go. Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. Really
Sorry.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, guys. If no one has any feedback, nothing, no. Okay. First comment. I think your examples, first of all, you didn't practice your presentation, did you? Because that's why you did practice. So did you realize it took 20 minutes? Okay, don't worry, you got all your chance. It's not bad feedback or anything. It's just when you're making or you're preparing for a presentation, it's very important you practice. So you time yourselves and you make sure that you are emphasizing, summarizing everything. So you make sure that everything is being said in the 10 minutes that you have been given. In this case, I'm not deducting any points or anything, but you took 22 minutes, which was very interesting, but it wasn't part of the objective of the presentation. So it's very important that for everyone, this lesson is for everyone, practice your presentation. So you are making sure that if the presentation should be 10 minutes, 10 minutes. As I said from the beginning, I'm not going to interrupt you because we don't have that requirement in our rubric or anything, but other teachers will just stop you in 10 minutes. So my recommendation for you in the future, please make sure if your presentation is 10 minutes, it's going to be 10 minutes. Now, the first comments I have, I think the examples you gave us were clear, but in both cases, I would have enjoyed mostly if you would have been a little bit more clear, because I got a little confused with Maria Jose's presentation of what, who does whatever, and etc. I don't know if the same happened to everyone. It wasn't clear to me. In this case, it was long and short. Okay, in this example, this situation happened in which this person showed that the long-term cultural dimension was present, because this person particularly, or this group of people, expect results maybe to be immediate. Or in this other case, the long term was visible and was clear because this. That wasn't honestly clear to me. I don't know if it was clear to everyone else. I tried to pay as much attention as I could, but I got really confused with the description of everyone doing what. Now, in your case, Diana, it was a little bit more clear because you talk about your boss, and which is the leader, actually, not the boss. And I took notes of that. And I think that example was much more clear on the power and how we could see that, because he was very close to you. He was very close to your sister, to everyone. As you said, you were in human resources. So that example was a little bit more clear. And of course, I really enjoyed the last part in which you went and research about why Mexico, again, is we have this high level of uncertainty. And I'm so glad you mentioned all those things. So that I gave you all the extra 100 points and stars, because that was wonderfully done, students. And my only comment for everyone, please make sure you're not confusing personality traits with cultural dimensions. These are two different terms and very different theories with very different backgrounds. Personality traits are more in the psychology area, and they have to do, of course, with your personality. Personality traits also have to do with how you behave in certain circumstances, but it's a personal characteristic of an individual. Cultural dimensions describe a culture. And I think in some of your examples, Diana, you were able to close more into we Mexicans, blah, blah, but I really couldn't get Maria Jose, and I'm sorry, I apologize if in your case, in your examples, I really couldn't differentiate. Is this because I didn't know, like, all the people you talk about, are they all Mexicans? Are they all from other countries? Are they from other states? The reason why they have this short or long-term capacity to deal with situations, how is this related to the cultural dimensions? I understood more personality traits, but maybe it was me. Maybe I didn't understand. So I apologize. No, don't be sorry. Learn from the feedback. You'll have 10s. Don't worry about your grade, but learn from the feedback. Take notes, because even if this is the last week, we're still learning. Everyone, we're still learning. I am still learning from you so much. And I want to say that I really, really loved, as I said, the example you mentioned at the end, in which if you can actually share the link to the documentary in our chat, it'll be very, very nice, because that gave you the extra stars and points and everything. So if I could give you a 20, I will give you a 20, but I cannot. So if you could share in the chat, please, those things. And my suggestion for both of you, practice next time. Honestly, I'm telling you this with all my heart and because I love you. Practice, record yourselves and see yourselves as you are. Okay, I know you are familiarized with the theories, and that was the whole idea, so I'm very proud of you, and you did it. So any other comments from anyone? I don't know if anyone agrees with me, or maybe I was trust me, I was trying to pay a lot of attention, but anyway, I really love the fact also how you link that is true and a non-future, it's close and related to the religious beliefs of a country. However, with this, I finish my feedback to your team. Even though cultural dimensions by Hofstede tell us about trends, tendencias, that he was able to find in certain cultures, never generalize. We have said this from the beginning. We're not all the same. And I know we can find trends in Mexicans. We can find trends in Canadians. We can find trends in Mexicans from the northern states, Mexicans from the southern states. We can find trends. We have been talking about that. But let's never generalize, because even in a work environment, which is what you described, you may have different visions, perspective, and also they might be more related to personality traits than the cultural dimensions from their beliefs and values from where these people are coming from. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, guys. Is this clear? Personality traits is individual, and cultural dimensions are general guidelines and trends from a culture and a society. Is this clear? Beautiful. Okay, wonderful then.